नमस्कार। और हम हैं अक्षता के साथ जो कुछ ही दिन पहले मलेशिया से होकर आए हैं। तांची येन से लड़ी थी अल्टीमेट बीट डाउन में, करेक्ट? शी वॉज नॉट एबल टू गेट हर हैंड रेज बट इट वॉज अ वेरी टफ फाइट एंड आई सॉ इट वॉज अ वेरी गुड फाइट। एंड मेरे ख्याल से आपने काफ़ी अच्छा अपने टैलेंट का वो दिखाया। सबसे पहले मैं पूछना चाहूँगा, जैसे आपने इंडिया में भी फाइट किया है, तो इंडिया और बाहर फाइट करने में क्या फ़र्क है? एक तो ऑफ कोर्स होम टाउन सपोर्ट नहीं होता,
हाँ, exactly.
लेकिन माहौल वगैरह वो कैसा रहता है?
आई डोंट नो, मतलब इंडिया में तो आई एम लाइक प्रीटी कॉन्फिडेंट कि अरे मेरे साथ फाइट है। जब भी मैंने फर्स्ट फाइट किया था इंडिया में तो इट वाज गुड, बट जब बाहर गई थी तो थोड़ा नर्वसनेस ज़्यादा था इंडिया से ज़्यादा था। मे बी वो बाहर था इसलिए, या फिर वहाँ का क्राउड, या फिर जो भी है, आई डोंट नो, बट वहाँ पे थोड़ा सा नर्वसनेस ज़्यादा था। जस्ट दैट।
और जो आपका फाइट है वो ग्राउंड पे भी काफ़ी हुआ था।
हाँ.
और ऑफ कोर्स हालांकि जिस जिम से आप बिलोंग करते हो, टीम एवोल्यूशन, टीम रिलेंटलेस, सॉरी, एवोल्यूशन जिम, Jitendra ji is one of the best practitioners and teachers you can say of BJJ in the country, so you are very lucky कि आपको इतने अच्छे कोचेस मिले हुए। तो आप लोगों का जो BJJ लेवल है वो बाकियों से, इंडियन से काफ़ी अच्छा है। मैं बोलूँगा जो आप लोगों का ग्राउंड गेम है, तो वो कैसा था उनके साथ ग्राउंड गेम जो आपका, वो काफ़ी रहा था ग्राउंड के ऊपर?
ग्राउंड गेम मतलब आई मीन हाँ, उसका भी अच्छा था, बट मैं बोल सकती हूँ कि मेरे ग्राउंड गेम की वजह से मैं बहुत ज़्यादा बची हूँ। ट्रायंगल के लिए उसने आर्मबार ट्राई किया, ट्रायंगल ट्राई किया, बट यहाँ पे इतनी प्रैक्टिस के बाद आई थिंक वो बहुत यूजफुल हुआ मेरे को मेरे फाइट में। हाँ,
क्योंकि यहाँ पे आप लोग काफ़ी ग्राउंड गेम का काफ़ी प्रैक्टिस और ट्रेनिंग काफ़ी
BJJ ज़्यादा प्रैक्टिस करते हैं।
तो वो जो जैसे आप बोले आप काफ़ी बचे, तो उनका स्टैंडर्ड वैसे कैसा था, उनके BJJ और ग्राउंड गेम का स्टैंडर्ड?
हाँ, मतलब अच्छा था, नाइस। मतलब मेरे से ज़्यादा एक्सपीरियंस तो थी वो, और उसका एक्सपीरियंस भी ज़्यादा मैटर कर रहा था। बट यहाँ पे सबके साथ ट्रेनिंग करते करते मेरे को भी उतना तो हो ही गया है कि आई कैन हैंडल हर।
तो इस फाइट के बाद आपको क्या लगता है कि आपको अपने ट्रेनिंग में कुछ ऐसा लगा कि आपको कि फाइट के बाद कि मैं वापस जाके ये ट्रेनिंग करूँगी या थोड़ा सा अपनी ट्रेनिंग को ऐसे बदलूंगी?
हाँ, मतलब मैंने सोचा है कि मैं थोड़ा सा स्ट्राइकिंग में वर्क करूँगी, थोड़ा केज वर्क में मेरे को थोड़ा वर्क करना है, थोड़ा ग्राउंड में मेरे को वर्क करना है। सो थोड़ा डिस्कशन हो गया मेरा कोच से के साथ, तो आई थिंक वो सारी चीज़ों में थोड़ा सा वर्क करना पड़ेगा।
और मैंने सुना है कि जो तांची है वो 1FC में कॉन्ट्रैक्ट साइन करने वाली थी, लेकिन आपका फाइट काफ़ी टफ रहा, तो अभी वो फाइट नहीं कर पाएंगे।
हाँ,
अभी तो 2-3 बार उनको वेट करना पड़ेगा, 2-3 और फाइट्स के लिए। तो दोबारा जो जैसे क्रिकेट में भी बोलते थे कि हम अपने कंट्री में काफ़ी स्ट्रॉन्ग हैं, लेकिन थोड़ा सा बाहर वो होते हैं, लेकिन वो एक्सपीरियंस के साथ चेंज भी होता है।
हाँ.
मेरे ख्याल से जैसे आप पहली बार बाहर आपने फाइट किया तो उसको एक्सपीरियंस किया, तो सेकंड बार आप मेरे ख्याल से इतनी नर्वस नहीं
होंगी। आई थिंक सेकंड टाइम में ज़्यादा कॉन्फिडेंट होंगी अपनी फाइट के लिए। इसमें फर्स्ट राउंड में आई वाज लाइक क्या हो रहा है। सेकंड राउंड में हाँ चलो, मेरे को वो ब्रेक में जब भी कोचेस ने आके बोला, सो हाँ बाबा है कोई तो उसके बाद फिर आई फिर से फाइट में, फिर वो फाइट चली। बट हाँ, नेक्स्ट टाइम आई थिंक मैं इतना नर्वस नहीं होंगी जितना इस टाइम पे हुई थी। मोर कॉन्फिडेंट।
जैसे आपने बोला आप थोड़ा सा अपने स्टैंड अप गेम वगैरह के ऊपर काम करेंगे, तो यहाँ पे आप कैसे फिर अपना ट्रेनिंग कैसे चेंज करते हैं? आप कोच को बोलते हैं कि मुझे ये इस पे काम करना है?
हाँ, ऑब्वियसली, क्योंकि सारा ट्रेनिंग कैंप या फिर सारी ट्रेनिंग कोचेस डिसाइड करते हैं। तो मेरे को अगर चेंज करना है, जो मेरे कोचेस ने भी नोटिस किया है कि मेरे को किस किस चीज़ में वर्क करना है, तो उस हिसाब से हम लोग बैठ के चेंजेस करेंगे। जैसे अकॉर्डिंग टू माई कोच कि मेरे को स्ट्रेंथ में भी थोड़ा सा वर्क करना पड़ेगा, तो वो बैठ के हम लोग डिसाइड करके फिर आगे का।
तो आपको क्या लग रहा था जब आप उनके साथ ग्रैपल कर रहे थे, तो उनका स्ट्रेंथ ज़्यादा लग रहा था आपको या कैसा था?
आई मीन यहाँ पे तो मैं सब बॉयज़ के साथ ट्रेनिंग करती हूँ, तो स्ट्रेंथ का मेरे को इतना इश्यू नहीं लगा। बट हाँ, वो थोड़ा बहुत तो ओवर पावर कर रही थी, सो मेरे को वर्क करना पड़ेगा स्ट्रेंथ पे।
स्ट्रेंथ के ऊपर। और कुछ बताना चाहेंगे आप कि बाहर का जो एक्सपीरियंस है, वो फाइटर्स वगैरह के साथ जो माहौल है वो हमारे यहाँ से कैसे अलग है? जो एक माहौल वहाँ पे जो फाइट का बनता है, वहाँ का जो ऑडियंस है, पब्लिक, वो हमारी पब्लिक से ज़्यादा एजुकेटेड है फाइट के बारे में, या कैसा माहौल कैसा है?
आई मीन हाँ, वहाँ पे एक्चुअली सबसे ज़्यादा सपोर्ट इस चीज़ का मिला, सिंगापुर से भी बहुत सारे फाइटर्स थे तो उन लोग ने भी बहुत सपोर्ट किया। वो वहाँ पे हमारे हेड कोच हैं तो उनके भी फाइटर्स थे, उन्होंने बहुत सपोर्ट किया मतलब फाइट के लिए, इस सारी चीज़ों के लिए। तो थोड़ा कॉन्फिडेंट वहाँ पे भी बिल्डअप हुआ है। सो और वहाँ की पब्लिक वेरी गुड, उनको भी मतलब समझ रहा है कि क्या चल रहा है यहाँ के जैसे नहीं, अरे मार अरे तोड़ ऐसे नहीं है। सो हाँ, उनका नॉलेज अच्छा है और दे आर सपोर्टिव।
तो अभी आपका अगला फाइट प्लान है?
आई थिंक अभी तक तो कुछ प्लान नहीं है, अभी मेरे को थोड़ा वर्क करना है मेरी चीज़ों पे। हाँ,
तो आपको क्या लगता है वैसे कि हमारी जो ट्रेनिंग है वो जितनी मुश्किल होनी चाहिए उतनी है, या आपको लगता है थोड़ा और लेवल आपको बढ़ाना चाहिए?
नहीं, ट्रेनिंग का लेवल इज परफेक्ट, बस थोड़ी बहुत चीज़ों पे मेरे को खुद को वर्क करना है तो वो हो जाएगा नेक्स्ट फाइट तक। तो
जैसे हमने देखा है UFC एंड बेलाटोर और काफ़ी और इनविक्टा, इनमें काफ़ी women fighters हैं and women fighting, women's MMA has become very big now with a lot of big names. तो ऐसी कोई women fighter है जिसको देख के आपको लगता है कि मुझे इनकी तरह बनना है?
इनकी तरह बनना नहीं है, बट हाँ वो 1FC की
एंजेला ली।
हाँ, मेरा ड्रीम है कि मैं उसके साथ फाइट करूँ और जीतूँ।
अच्छा, ओके, वेरी गुड। क्योंकि हमने उनके साथ बात की है, पता नहीं आपने वो इंटरव्यू देखा है या नहीं, हमने उनके साथ बात की थी थोड़े महीने पहले।
तो वहाँ तक पहुँचने के लिए टाइम है, बट हाँ
वहाँ तक पहुँच जाऊंगी मैं। बहुत अच्छा है।
या आई नो,
so she is very good in her ground game, but I am sure with some more training you will reach that level.
Yes, of course.
लेकिन अगला ऑफ कोर्स पहले तो अगली फाइट
नहीं, बहुत सारी फाइट्स करनी पड़ेगी उससे पहले, बट हाँ वहाँ तक पहुँच जाऊंगी।
तो वैसे आपको क्या लगता है, आप अगला जो फाइट है इंडिया में रखना चाहते हैं या बाहर, कैसे क्या है?
आई थिंक आई डोंट नो, वो मेरे कोचेस डिसाइड करेंगे, बट हाँ बाहर क्योंकि ज़्यादा सीखने मिल रहा है बाहर, क्योंकि मेरी वीकनेस मेरे को पता चल रही है बाहर। यहाँ पे मेरे को इतना ये नहीं लग रहा है, क्योंकि
आप योद्धा YFC में भी लड़े थे ना?
हाँ,
वहाँ पे आप जीते थे।
YFC में 2 फाइट लड़ी थी मैंने। हाँ, तो वहाँ पे तो फर्स्ट राउंड में ही खत्म हो गया था। इवन नेशनल्स वहाँ पे भी फर्स्ट राउंड में ही मैच खत्म हो गया। तो आई थिंक मेरे को बाहर ज़्यादा टफ कंपटीशन मिल रहा है।
हाँ, तो आपने कभी सोचा कि आप बाहर भी थोड़ा टाइम, जैसे कई ट्रेनिंग कैंप्स हैं वहाँ पे, ऑफ कोर्स आप अभी जैसे गए सिंगापुर तो वहाँ पे भी आपने ट्रेन किया काफ़ी टाइम, तो आपको लगता है कि आप एक अगले फाइट से पहले 2-3 महीने बाहर ही ट्रेन करें या फर्क?
नॉट नेसेसरी, क्योंकि यहाँ पे भी उसी लेवल की ट्रेनिंग हो रही है, तो बाहर जाके ट्रेनिंग करना इज नॉट नेसेसरी।
I'm not just talking about the training, but because mentally you become more comfortable fighting with people around over there.
शायद से तो आई थिंक नेक्स्ट फाइट से पहले मैं फाइट जी में जाके वहाँ पे गर्ल्स फाइटर्स बहुत ज़्यादा है, तो उनके साथ मैं ट्रेन करना चाहूँगी, सो दैट उनके साथ फाइट करने का मेरे को कॉन्फिडेंस आ जाए। तो मेरे को ऐसे फॉरेनर्स है ये वो है, उनके साथ फाइट करी, वो कॉन्फिडेंस थोड़ा सा बिल्डअप हो जाए। तो हाँ, मैं जाके फाइट करूँगी।
ओके, नाइस। वेल, थैंक यू फॉर टॉकिंग टू अस एंड वी विल बी cheering you on for your next fight, और हम चाहते हैं बहुत जल्द हो, क्योंकि मेरे ख्याल से फाइटर्स को हमेशा, इफ यू आर नॉट इंजर्ड, अभी आपको कोई इंजरी नहीं हुई तो जल्दी फाइट करते रहना चाहिए, क्योंकि एक्सपीरियंस जो है वो फाइट में ही मिलता है। करेक्ट? So congrats once again and thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
अब हमारे साथ हैं मंथन राणे, जो अल्टीमेट बीट डाउन में शिहाब मुस्तफ़ी को हरा के आए हैं। थोड़ा सा पहले फाइट के बारे में बताइए, फाइट कैसा गया आपके नज़रिए में, और आपने उनको कैसे हराया, और आपकी स्ट्रैटेजी क्या थी फाइट में?
So basically before the fight I didn't specifically train, I didn't have a game plan in mind for him. I was basically just training, I was focusing more on my,
कोई सामने आ जाए किसी से भी लड़ ले।
I didn't watch too many videos of his. I just wanted to.
But was that a strategy because you did not want to get too conscious of what he's doing and you wanted to stick to your game plan, or
basically the thing is I've been striking for a long time. So I wanted to learn the grappling game and basically mix it up, not just wrestling one and striking one. I wanted to mix it up. So I was working on that, mixing my takedowns with my striking, and that is what I worked on. When I reached there, right before the fight, right before entering the cage, Darren sir told me that this guy is a taekwondo guy. He'll try to kick you. Just close the distance and wrestle with him. So that is what I did. He came in with a cheap shot and I just closed the distance, and he gave me the takedown,
Hmm.
and just worked my way to the finish.
Okay.
That's how it worked.
So, was this your first time? पहली बार आप बाहर लड़े?
Not my first. First time fighting abroad in MMA. But
MMA.
before that, I fought kickboxing.
Yeah. So, but this was your first. Was it the first time you fought abroad in MMA? Under
Yeah,
MMA
first MMA.
So, how was the experience like? Because of course, like we were just speaking to Akshata also. It's slightly different fighting in front of your home crowd and then fighting abroad. But
not
how was it for
really.
you?
Not really, because recently I fought Yodha, and YFC in Nagaland. It was a very well-educated crowd. I mean, they knew what I was doing, so it was not that different. YFC and Beatdown, slightly different crowd, but it was a well-educated crowd in both the tournaments. So yeah, just that they were basically trying to support him, but then there were some guys from 5G and they supported us as well, so it didn't make a difference.
It didn't make a difference.
Yeah.
But you've been to shows here and now you've been to Ultimate Beatdown.
Yeah.
What's the difference in terms of the audience?
The audience,
But of course, like you said, of course, in the Northeast, they're much more educated about combat sports.
Yeah.
But the general Indian public may not be.
Yeah, exactly. So the fight before that, I fought in, I think, 2015 in Kerala, and that crowd wasn't a very well educated crowd, So when the fight went to the ground, they didn't know exactly what to expect. And when I choked him out, he was basically a local boy, and then they didn't know what happened, and they didn't understand how the local guy lost.
So, ये तो नहीं लगा कि मार दिया इसको.
Exactly. So they didn't know when it was when I was striking with him. They knew that I'm striking, I'm winning. He's striking, he's winning. But then when it goes to the ground, they don't know what to expect. But then there they knew that I was on mount. I was changing position. I was scrambling. I was getting out of positions. I was striking. So they know what's happening, and
Now, do you think that is one of the challenges of promoting MMA in our country? Is जब खड़े होके boxing करते हैं तो उनको समझ में आता है कि boxing है, कि boxing सबको समझ में आता है. लेकिन एक बार ग्राउंड पे चले जाओ तो क्या हो रहा है टेक्निकली उनको अभी भी जैसे कुश्ती भी समझ में आती है of course. लेकिन BJJ is a little different and more technical.
Exactly. So basically what they think is that the guy on top is winning. So something like BJJ is not really the guy always on top who's winning, So if you're in somebody's guard or like the guy below is trying to set up a triangle, the people don't understand what a triangle is, what an armbar is. So they don't know the technical details. They just know that the guy who's on top is basically winning. That's what the understanding of BJJ for them is. So they you need to tell them it's not only about who's on top, it's about positions, it's about transitions, sweeps. So that is how you need to basically.
Now, how did you get into MMA?
Me? So basically when I was in school, I watched this movie called Never Back Down, and I told my friend about it, and then he watched it, and then he went on to search for MMA schools across Bombay. So as like a summer vacation thing, we joined a school for a month, and then my other two friends, they left it, and then I continued. I started learning Muay Thai. I went on to fight 5 national tournaments, World Championship, Asian Championship, and then that's how I came to know about MMA. Started learning BJJ a little bit, but wasn't exposed to BJJ so much. So I moved here, started wrestling BJJ with Vicky sir, and that's how
you got into it.
Yeah.
So it was from the movie.
Yeah, that's
basically.
Yeah,
Which a lot of people
exactly.
see it and they get excited. So what's your next move now? What do you feel should be your next fight? Do you have a tournament in mind?
So basically, as of now, MMA, I don't know what's next for me. Vicky sir will decide about my bantamweight title defense or whatever it is. But there's one thing that is being pending is the stand. I'm a number 1 contender for the 65 kg title. So in stand, that is
stand,
kickboxing tournament. So probably they'll contact the guys for a title shot soon. Maybe that's next or whatever sir decides for me.
Now, again, of course, you saw Never Back Down. You must be watching UFC and Bellator and all these things.
Yeah.
Do you have a fighter who you would want to emulate?
Yeah,
Or
so
you do
like
emulate?
so when I started watching UFC, there's one guy which I've idolized till now, and that's Anderson Silva. So
Okay.
he's one of my favorite fighters even now, even when he's not in his prime. But yeah, I
So
still
had you tried to copy any of his moves?
not really, but then yeah, I mean, I like the way he fights. I try to do, I try to work on my, defense and the skips and the ducks that he does. But yeah, not even close.
No, so okay. Great. Well, it was really good having you with us, Manthan.
Yeah.
And wish you all the best. And
Thank
we hope to see and cover your next fight as well.
Sure.
Thanks. Thanks a lot. तो रुद्रांश, आप भी अल्टीमेट बीट डाउन में लड़के आए हो. अभी हमने अक्षिता और मंथन से भी बात किया. तो ऑफ कोर्स अनफॉर्चुनेटली इस बार आप अपना हाथ नहीं उठा पाए, बट इट्स अ वेरी गुड थिंग दैट यू वेंट इन फॉर, इट वाज अ वेरी टफ फाइट. तो आपके लिए एक्सपीरियंस कैसा था?
फॉर मी एज इन मेरे लिए ऐसा पहले बार हुआ है कि मैं अपना गेम केज में दिखा पाया हूँ. दे से दैट learning something and constantly drilling it is a different thing, but being able to apply जो कहते हैं अपना game लेके जाना on stage, not only in MMA but in anything that you're doing, to be able to put it in front of the people, it's a very different thing. उसके लिए आपको बार बार केज में जाना पड़ता है और वही चीज़ again and again करना पड़ता है. ये फाइट में मेरा लर्निंग जितना हुआ है आज तक कोई फाइट में नहीं हुआ है. मतलब आई एम बिकम मोर कॉन्फिडेंट टुवर्ड्स माई प्रोफेशनल करियर बिकॉज दिस माई कोचेज लाइक चैतन्य गौली एंड सुशोवन घोष एंड मैनी अदर्स, वो लोग को अपने टाइम पे एमेच्योर फाइट्स नहीं मिले. वो लोग को सीधा प्रो में डाला गया. उन्हें उसमें अपना गेम सीखना पड़ा, जिसकी वजह से कुछ लोगों को बिफोर हैंड विदाउट नोइंग थिंग्स लॉसेज मिले हैं. बट हम लोग के साथ वैसा नहीं है. वी हैव दिस amateur podium to replenish ourselves, and it is a bitter pill to swallow because this is the first time experiencing a loss. But it's okay. It's the best feeling though. You get more motivated.
Now the guy you fought was a guy called Bartos or something. Bartos, right?
Bartos Kork.
तो कहाँ से थे वो?
वो पोलिश थे, बट वो इंग्लैंड में रहता था.
इंग्लैंड में.
और यहाँ पर.
And he was fighting over there. तो इनके कुछ फाइट्स आपने देखे थे पहले?
मैंने पता चलने पे कि दिस इज़ द गाय हु वांट्स टू टेक अ फाइट विद मी, मैंने एक फाइट जो मुझे सर ने भेजा था वो देखा था. लेकिन मेरे हिसाब से फाइट देख के ऑल यू आर डूइंग इज जस्ट क्रिएटिंग अ हाइप इनसाइड योर ओन माइंड, व्हिच इज ऑल बुलशिट. हाइप डजंट एग्जिस्ट. सो आई जस्ट don't believe in all that. They are all the same. Like, I have to eventually fight. Eventually I am supposed to give a performance which is better than my earlier performance. That is the goal, at least for now.
So in the fight, where do you feel you went wrong, and what would you have changed if you get the chance? Something. आपको क्या लगा कि where was he stronger than you?
I see. First of all, I was shocked knowing that many places where I expected him to be stronger, he wasn't. And I started going into this flow, because of which I thought by the end of the second round, middle of the second round, I stopped listening to my corner properly, and because everything that I was throwing was connecting and I was slipping.
What was your corner telling you?
They were telling me to continue to do certain things,
like what?
Like he was constantly leaning towards his left side. So his weight was completely as in on his right side. So they were asking me to connect him with a head kick, constantly. And as soon as his hand was going up, they were asking me to connect his body. But only because my punches were landing along with the head kick.
So you continued to punch.
Yeah. I got into that flow, and it was the first time that normally in all my fights I'm not able to punch. This is like the last two fights or the first fights in which I'm able to open my hands properly, be comfortable with doing it. Because at the end of the day, I see all these fights, even now, most of the fighters that I train with are not being able to show their game in the cage. They are performing so well. Not only young fighters, even senior fighters, performing so well in the training room. They look unbeatable, but they go into the cage and boof, it's all gone, and you just don't know, and there has to be something, and the thing is to be able to be comfortable, and that's what I'm trying to do, at least right now. But when I'm ready, like to take it on, like when I know that I'm being comfortable, I'm playing, I'm enjoying the fight, then.
But you don't think it's better to go in with a specific strategy against your opponent? Like your corner was giving you a specific strategy.
Yeah, listening to your corner is always important, because as my coaches,
they can see the fight in a different way than you can.
Completely, because they can listen to the other person's corner.
Yeah.
They can listen to the person's panting better properly. They can see how tired he is, what he's throwing, how he's looking.
Whereas you're just trying to survive sometimes in there and trying to beat him up. Yeah.
It's like a tunnel vision. You can just look at this one person and
they can see everything.
Yeah. So you have to listen to them. You should at least train yourself to listen to one voice. Like we have a coach whose voice is completely like clear, but I don't know what happened, whether it was me getting a little confident with the strikes or me not being confident with it. I don't know what it was, but I just stopped listening to them. It was just blurring out the voice for some reason. I could hear them, but not completely clearly. But next time I'll like work on that.
Okay.
Being able to connect to them, because that's like more important right now.
So is there anything that you felt you needed to improve upon in the fight, which you've come back and inculcated into the training and changed your training around because of that?
The only one thing that I'm going to repeat again is to try and get my game, because that's my because I can do things.
Yeah, but you're talking about a flow.
Yep.
Right? You're talking about a flow. But do you feel it's only the flow that you need to get into?
Yep.
That was the thing you only felt was missing.
Still, yes.
Okay.
I need to put on that pressure that I usually put on. Use more strikes like how I usually do. Go and take the person down.
So what you're saying is, what you usually do in training, you are not able to implement it inside the cage.
Not that well. Better than before, but not that well.
Not that well. So, do you think the atmosphere or the fact that you were abroad had anything to do with it, or that wasn't a factor?
Not at all. That me as a child also have gone through a lot of this people booing and social neglect and all that, and that doesn't really bother me anymore. After going to Malaysia before I was fighting the guy who's a Malaysian, and people like boo on top of their voice, and in Nagaland people are like hooting for their people.
Yeah.
Like it's like a different country over there. Like they have no clue about anything else, and they're just like cheering their sportsmen, their athletes, and pushing them, and their athletes are also performing because they're getting that. Like if they're going out, they're recognizing them. It's not about the money. It's about the fact that people like around you, they're nurturing their champions, and that has to be done. But it's okay, because I feel we're getting more tougher, trying to become what we're becoming, and these people, like what they're doing is like Vicky sir. That man is like relentless. Like no wonder they've named that team Relentless, because he will just not break, and because he won't break, none of us do. Yeah, it just doesn't happen. Like there's a loss, but I don't feel like I've lost because I wasn't made the main. What is a victory? You go inside, you come back, and the people who you train with should be like, wow, you've done a good job.
So that's
important.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I really don't care about.
So what's next now? What do you have a certain tournament you're eyeing, or are you training towards something? What are you guys planning on?
I'm gonna keep improving my skills, because I want to be a world champion, which I will be, and for that I'm just gonna keep training whatever comes my way, because right now I don't think sir has any plans for me right now, but he'll tell me.
Soon, you guys have just come back.
And some of my teammates, youngsters will be fighting now, the juniors, and they'll also need some push, some cornering. So that's also like a different fun altogether. You get to learn like a completely different part of MMA, which is.
Now, this is something I asked everybody else also. Is there a fighter who you emulate, who you look up to, and you maybe try and you've learned either some moves that you like of his or anything like that? Is there some famous fighter that you would want to be like?
There are many. There is like a combination of the precision that and the flow that McGregor has, and the wrestling and the control that Chad Mendes gets to the ground, because I feel even in the featherweight fight with McGregor, Mendes is a really small guy, but he's the only guy who's actually been like properly effective towards
against him,
like he whooped his ass, and then eventually like he got gassed out, but you know there can be many reasons to it that can be worked on. So if there's a nice mixture to it, because McGregor knows how to use his range, and normally in my weight division I tend to be taller than the person, so using range and precision, you know, really helps with the turning into the grappling like Mendes. That like really help.
Okay. Well, great. It was great having you on the show.
Thank you.
And you know, we wish you all the best in your next fight and endeavor and training.
I promise it will be like the best.
Great. We look forward to that. Thank you. तो हमारे साथ अब हैं अनिल मेहता, जो अपने एक और फाइट जीत के आए हैं अल्टीमेट बीट डाउन में. इनका अपोनेंट का नाम था डैनियल कहाँ से थे? डैनियल मलेशिया से. डैनियल निक डैनियल के अगेंस्ट, जो मलेशिया से ही थे. आप जब भी बाहर जाते हो तो जीत के आते हो, जो कि बहुत अच्छी बात है. टचवुड. अभी आपका रिकॉर्ड काफ़ी अच्छा है. ये भी किक बॉक्सिंग रूल्स के अंदर था. किक बॉक्सिंग रूल्स के अंदर. तो आप मेनली किक बॉक्सिंग में ही
मेनली मैं
मुआई थाई. हाँ. सो इंडिया में मेरे ख्याल से मुआई थाई और किक बॉक्सिंग का जो डिफरेंस है वो ज़्यादा लोग नहीं पता है, तो इसलिए मैं किक बॉक्सिंग उसको बोल रहा हूँ. इस फाइट के लिए आपने अपना ट्रेनिंग वगैरह कुछ चेंज किया? प्रिपेयर कैसे करते हो फाइट के लिए?
कोई फाइट मिलती है पहले तो उस प्रिपरेशन, उसका सारा शेड्यूल सारी तैयार करते हैं विक्की सर. तो उसी के जो शेड्यूल होता है उसी के ऊपर वर्कआउट करते हैं.
और इसमें जैसे आप, मैंने देखा फाइट, इसमें आप हमेशा काफ़ी एग्रेसिव जाते हैं. फाइट जो अंग्रेजी में बोलते हैं यू टेक द फाइट टू द अपोनेंट, तो हमेशा आपका वो रहता है दूसरे को दबाने का.
क्योंकि किक बॉक्सिंग ऐसी है ना, और मुआई थाई भी, कि अगर आप अग्रेसिव रहोगे ना तो सामने वाले को सोचने का मौका नहीं मिलेगा. तो आप अग्रेसिव रहोगे तो आप यूज कर सकते हो अपने सारे वेपन. अगर आप अग्रेसिव नहीं रहोगे, वो ऊपर से चार्ज करेगा, तो आप डिमोल आ जाओगे.
क्योंकि जो आपका अपोनेंट था वो पहले राउंड में कई बार गिरा था.
हाँ, वो गिरा था,
है ना.
वो बाउट पहले खत्म होनी चाहिए थी, लेकिन उन्होंने किया नहीं. क्योंकि 2 बार एक बार फाल हो गए तो वो खत्म हो जाती है बाउट, लेकिन उन्होंने नहीं किया. मे भी वो वहाँ का लोकल था इसलिए. हाँ,
तो उन्होंने सोचा कि लोगों को थोड़ा और देखने का मौका मिल जाए. लेकिन आप काफ़ी अच्छा तो फाइट ही किया, लेकिन आपने स्ट्रॉन्ग डोमिनेंट परफॉर्मेंस किया कि ऐसा लगा नहीं कि जो सामने वाला है वो आपके मुकाबले का था. वो ऐसा नहीं लगा. ऐसा नहीं लगा कि वो आपके साथ होना चाहिए उधर केज में.
मोस्टली मलेशिया से आप
स्ट्रॉन्ग ही आते हैं.
नहीं, स्ट्रॉन्ग था, लेकिन वो फाइट एक्सेप्ट नहीं करे. उससे पहले मैंने 8 फाइट वहाँ कर चुका हूँ K1 में. तो मैंने इनको डिफीट किया है.
हाँ, उसी को
नहीं, और
किसी और को
वहाँ जो भी वहाँ से स्टार्ट किया. लेकिन अब इसने चूज़ किया होगा, इसने सोचा होगा कि मैं इसको डिफीट कर दूंगा, लेकिन वो नहीं कर पाया. तो आप क्योंकि कई बार फाइट कर चुके हो अभी बाहर, तो आपके लिए कुछ फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता, चाहे इंडिया में हो चाहे बाहर हो, मेंटली आप स्ट्रॉन्ग हो. हाँ, मेंटली
हर जगह, क्राउड चाहे कहीं का भी हो.
अब ऐसा लगता है कि बाहर खेलना अच्छा लगता है, कि वहाँ अपनी कंट्री को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं. तो कुछ एक इमेज छोड़ के आएंगे वहाँ पे, तो वो अच्छा लगता है.
बिल्कुल.
इंडिया में खेलने कोई नहीं जानता. लोगों को ये नहीं पता कि किक बॉक्सिंग क्या है और मुआई थाई क्या है. और मैं हिमाचल से बिलोंग करता हूँ. हिमाचल में तो किसी को कुछ नहीं पता. मैं फर्स्ट प्लेयर हूँ जो यहाँ तक पहुँचा हूँ.
तो जब आप जैसे हिमाचल से हो, मैंने पढ़ा भी है, आप अभी भी पुलिस में हो.
हाँ, पुलिस में
है ना. तो जब आपने बताया उनको कि आपने क्या बोला कि फाइट करना चाहता हूँ या मुआई थाई, कि मुआई थाई किसी को समझ में नहीं आया होगा?
नहीं आया. मैंने परमिशन ली थी, तो मेरी परमिशन हुई है जो वो HP गवर्नमेंट ने किया है. पुलिस डिपार्टमेंट तो मना कर दिया था, क्योंकि उनको समझ नहीं आया क्या था,
क्या है मुआई थाई क्या.
तो HP गवर्नमेंट ने मेरी परमिशन की है. तो उनकी परमिशन से मैं 5 साल की एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डर विदाउट पे हूँ.
अच्छा, विदाउट पे.
5 साल की परमिशन ले रखी.
तो बोलना थोड़ा तो पे देना चाहिए था भाई. बिना पे के कैसे काम चलेगा?
कि हमारे जो पुलिस के अफसर हैं उन्होंने ऐसा प्रोविजन ही नहीं छोड़ा कि स्पोर्ट्स मैन ऊपर जा सके. मेन दिक्कत है. मैक्सिमम 1 महीने की छुट्टी मिलती है. 1 महीने में तो हम वर्ल्ड लेवल के किसी कंपटीटर को कम्पीट नहीं कर पाएंगे.
तो अभी लेकिन वो आपके उनको मालूम है आप क्या कर रहे हो क्या?
हाँ, अभी तो पता है, क्योंकि अभी हमारे जो CM साहब हैं उन्होंने मेरे को प्रमोशन देने का आश्वासन दे रखा है वहाँ पे. कि आपको रैंक देंगे. देखते हैं अब कब देंगे।
चलो वेरी गुड।
हाँ,
लेकिन
ज़्यादा।
अभी उनको आपने जाके अपने फाइट्स दिखाते भी हो या नहीं, ये कि ये देखो मैंने फाइट किया?
फाइट के लिंक सेंड करता हूँ।
साइड करते हो ना सबको?
पुलिस में तो सभी जानते हैं,
सब जानते हैं अभी
हिमाचल
ये
पुलिस की, हाँ कि ये लड़का खेल रहा है।
कि अभी थोड़े डरते हैं या नहीं कि लात मार देगा ये बंदा वापस आके?
हाँ थोड़ा रिस्पेक्ट देते हैं, पहले से
respect
रिस्पेक्ट
देते
है। रैंक तो मेरा छोटा है लेकिन रिस्पेक्ट देते हैं सभी,
हाँ।
चाहे ऑफिसर हो चाहे कोई भी हो।
बिल्कुल।
हाँ रिस्पेक्ट मिलता है।
तो इसमें आपने आने की कैसे सोचा आपने, और एक ट्रेनिंग इनिशियली आपने हिमाचल में की थी या?
मैं पहले बॉक्सिंग करता था, हिमाचल पुलिस की टीम में था मैं।
ओके।
तो 2014 में कुछ ऐसा हुआ कि मतलब पॉलिटिकल इशू के कारण हमारे कोच ने मेरे को इनविटेशन नहीं दिया कैंप का।
अच्छा।
कैंप का इनविटेशन देना पड़ता।
2014 में वो भी प्रॉब्लम हुआ था ना, जहाँ पे हमारे फेडरेशन बैन वगैरह हो
हाँ,
गए थे
उसी वजह से
सब वो।
तो
हाँ।
फिर मैंने सरकार को बोला कि मैं बॉक्सिंग की ट्रेनिंग के लिए बाहर जाऊँगा। तो मैं बाहर गया, थाईलैंड चूज़ किया मैंने, वहाँ गया तो मैं बॉक्सिंग ट्रेनिंग कर रहा था और मुआ थाई भी। तो देखा मुआ थाई में कोई इंडियन फाइटर नहीं है, तो हमारी कोई रिस्पेक्ट ही नहीं थी वहाँ पे। तो मैंने सोचा कि कुछ करना चाहिए इस चीज़ के लिए, तो मैंने मुआ थाई ट्रेनिंग शुरू कर दी वहाँ पे। तो मैंने वहाँ पे फाइट की। तो मेरी जो फर्स्ट फाइट थी वहाँ पे प्रो फाइट थी मुआ थाई में, वो मेरा ओपोनेंट मेरे से 11 kg अप था।
अच्छा।
तो मैंने उसको 4th राउंड में एल्बो के साथ KO किया। तो मैं सोचा जब मैं इसको कर सकता हूँ 5 महीने की ट्रेनिंग बाद, तो मैं आगे जा सकता हूँ। तो मैं सोचा यही बॉक्सिंग को छोड़ दिया, फिर तो मुआ थाई और K1 की बात हुई।
तो अभी आप कितनी फाइट्स कर चुके हो?
मुआ K1 की फाइट है 8-1 रिकॉर्ड है मेरा,
हाँ।
और मुआ थाई 3-1।
3-1। K1 और मुआई थाई में क्या फ़र्क है वैसे, रूल्स में फर्क है? एल्बो का
मेन एल्बो मुआ थाई का वेपन ही एल्बो है।
हाँ।
और मेरे को एल्बो ही अच्छा लगता है,
लेकिन K1 में अलाउड नहीं है।
K1 में अलाउड नहीं
ओके।
है। और नी का भी है थोड़ा,
नहीं का।
पर K1 में एक ही नहीं अलाउड है। मुआ थाई में तो मुआ थाई मेनली है कि आप में कोई फाउल नहीं है।
हाँ।
फाउल ही नहीं है, आप जैसे मर्जी मारो,
जैसे
जब तक
मर्जी
खड़े आप मारते रहो बस।
उसमें मजा आता है।
उसमें मजा
आता
आता
है।
है। सामने वाला ही मारेगा, मैं
मार
मारूंगा, फिर देखते हैं कौन सर्वाइव
इसको
करेगा।
तो अभी अगला प्लान क्या है वैसे आपका? फाइट का कुछ है?
अभी नेक्स्ट फाइट तो देखते हैं। अभी एशियन चैंपियनशिप होगी मुआ थाई की।
ओके।
अभी उसका देखते हैं, इनविटेशन लेटर आएगा तो उसमें जाऊंगा।
ओके। तो वो कहाँ पे है और कब है?
वो तुर्कमेनिस्तान में सितंबर में।
सितंबर में। तो अभी सितंबर तो आने वाला है।
हाँ सितंबर।
तो वो एसोसिएशन के थ्रू आना चाहिए।
एसोसिएशन के थ्रू ही आता है वो लेटर।
ओके।
तो उसके बाद भी शायद 1-2 प्रो फाइट मिला है, उसलिए भी मतलब तैयारी के लिए उसके लिए तो थाईलैंड जाना पड़ेगा। ओपोनेंट थाई होगा ना,
हाँ।
तो
उधर जाके तैयारी करते हैं।
करना पड़ेगा।
तो कहाँ पे जाके तैयारी करते हैं उधर थाईलैंड में?
थाईलैंड में एक जिम है नॉर्थ थाईलैंड में, चियांग माई में, सैंताई।
हाँ। तो उधर
वहीं
जाके
से मैंने बिगनिंग की थी, मेरे को वही अच्छा लगता है वहाँ पे। मतलब तो वो गांव जैसा ही माहौल है वहाँ पे,
हाँ।
और ट्रेनर मॉडर्न है वहाँ पे।
हाँ।
कि मुआ थाई में क्या कि अगर आपने लुम्पिनी में फाइट नहीं की ना,
तो कहीं आपने कहीं नहीं फाइट किया।
तो आप प्लेयर नहीं हो मुआ थाई में। तो वही टारगेट है कि लुम्पिनी में फाइट करना है एक बार।
तो आपका फेवरेट मुआई थाई फाइटर कौन है? बुकाओ ना? मैं भी यही कहने वाला था, वो काफ़ी स्ट्रॉन्ग फाइटर है और सबसे फेमस भी है।
फेमस उसी ने किया मुआ थाई, क्योंकि उसी ने मैक्सिमम फॉरनर को मारा है।
हाँ।
तो वही सबसे अच्छा, मतलब उसका मेरे को स्टाइल अच्छा लगता है। वो सामने वाला मारता है फिर वो मारता है। वही मेरे को अच्छा लगता है कि मार,
तू जितना मार सकता है मार, फिर मैं मार के दिखाता हूँ।
बस वही अच्छा लगता है।
चलो।
और मैं आपका थैंक यू बोल रहा था क्योंकि इससे पहले मैंने फाइट कर रखा है 8 फाइट, मतलब 8 फाइट कर रखा है, और मेरे पास 3 टाइटल है, और सारे ही फॉरेन में।
ओके।
लेकिन इतनी ज़्यादा खासियत नहीं मिली, कोई पहचान नहीं थी, लेकिन आपने इनविटेशन दिया
नहीं,
इसलिए आपका थैंक यू और शुक्रिया अदा करना।
बिल्कुल नहीं, थैंक यू। लड़ते आप लोग हैं, मेहनत आप लोग करते हैं। हमने एक प्लेटफॉर्म बनाया है बस, और आप लोगों के लिए बनाया है, क्योंकि आप लोग इतनी मेहनत करते हैं और देश का नाम बिल्कुल आगे जाके रोशन करते हैं। और हम चाहते हैं कि लोगों को मालूम पड़े कि देखो ये हमारा स्पोर्ट जो एक है वर्ल्ड स्पोर्ट, इसमें हमारे हिंदुस्तानी भी हैं जो जाके लड़ते हैं और नाम कमा रहे हैं देश के लिए।
तो वही इससे पहले कोई नहीं जानता। मैं इंडिया का पहला बंदा हूँ जिसने मतलब किक बॉक्सिंग में एक बेल्ट जीता है।
बिल्कुल।
और मुआ थाई में कोई टूर्नामेंट हो, प्रो मुआ थाई में बाहर जीता, 4 मैन टूर्नामेंट।
बिल्कुल।
लेकिन किसी ने नहीं जीता, इससे पहले कोई पहचान नहीं मिली, लेकिन अभी आपने मौका दिया।
नहीं, बिल्कुल
सभी जानेंगे,
ज़रूर जानेंगे और पहचानेंगे। और क्योंकि आपका जो एटीट्यूड है स्पोर्ट्स के प्रति वो बहुत ही अच्छा है, और आपका फाइटिंग स्टाइल भी बहुत ही अच्छा है। तो हम चाहते हैं कि किक बॉक्सिंग, मुआई थाई, MMA, ये सब कॉम्बैट स्पोर्ट्स हमारे देश में पॉपुलर हों काफ़ी, और आपके जैसे सक्सेसफुल और जितने भी हमारे फाइटर्स हैं जो लड़ रहे हैं वो हमारी पब्लिक उनको जाने और अप्रिशिएट करें। तो इसी के साथ हमारे शो पे आने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद एंड हम आपका अगला फाइट भी फॉलो करेंगे और ऑल द बेस्ट फॉर योर नेक्स्ट फाइट. थैंक यू अनिल. So first things first, you had 4 fighters, of course, at Ultimate Beatdown, big responsibility. You know, you got a 2-2 record, which is, you know, pretty good for a foreign fight promotion, you know, and all of them fought really well. You know, even the ones who couldn't get their hands raised fought really well, you know, like we were saying, I was speaking to Akshita, you know, she showed a very solid and sound ground game, which is usually the weakness for Indian fighters, but she, you know, showed, you know, a lot of strength in that and a lot of scope, you know, that you feel really good that everybody is, you know, so how is the responsibility of taking everybody and having to look at 4 different fights and strategies and everything? How is that for you as the coach?
So, you know, one thing, first things first, unfortunately in our country, we put too much emphasis to wins and losses more than performance. So, one thing that, you know, I believe was that, you know, all of these guys are winners because
that's what I just said. You know, they all fought really well.
They all fought really well, and for me, that was important.
Yeah, of course.
You know, one thing that I've always believed in is that, you know, at amateur level where they're just starting their careers, the focus is never based on one fight and strategies and stuff because, you know, again, they are also fighting amateurs. And I'm expecting those guys to improve at the rate these guys are improving. So if I look at their last fight and expect them to come out and fight the same way, I think that would be a stupid game plan on my part. So one thing that I do with all these guys is, you know, we have a goal for them as to, okay, so, you know, like I know their weaknesses, I know their strengths. So how do we keep working on building on their strengths and, you know, at the same time bringing their weaknesses up to the level. And I think for me personally, the larger responsibility or the larger goal out of this Ultimate Beatdown was that attitude shift. Like these guys have been winning in India and they've been doing well in India. And, you know, I don't want them to develop that big fish in a small pond mentality. So for me, you know, taking them out and getting this level of competition was really important. And I'm really happy that they were able to handle that kind of pressure. You know, like you said, Akshata initially felt that pressure in the first round, and, you know, then at the end of the first round, she had a self-realization that, look, you know, it's not that she's that special. I fight guys who are tougher than these. So, you know, what am I being bothered about? And then second round, she was back to doing what she does. So for me, that's a win. I mean, it's a win because I know that the next time she fights, she's going to go from the first round the same way she went the second and third round. Same thing with Rudransh. You know, Rudransh has initially fought in Malaysia and stuff, but somewhere, you know, obviously fighting an unbeaten guy coming from, you know, a wrestling background, you know, though Rudransh is one of those guys who doesn't really care much about what other guys do, but somewhere, you know, it was there that, okay, let me switch my game plan. He's a wrestler, and, you know, so now he knows that, you know, it's just about going and playing to his strengths, doing what he does every day in training. It's not about, you know, thinking, oh, he's a wrestler, so suddenly I'm going to start striking, or, oh, he's a striker, so let me start wrestling. I mean, you know, and again, these things are what is important for me. I mean, I enjoy that responsibility of taking these guys out and, you know, getting them to perform. It's a pressure, definitely a pressure, because like I said, you know, back home when you people are waiting to see, oh, how many you won. No, you know, it's really now that people are looking at the fights and saying, oh, they must have lost, but come on, you know, they put up a good show. Which I think is an improvement.
I think that is the main thing is, it's not, of course, you know, we've said it before, every fighter who enters the ring needs to be respected. They do what, you know, a lot of other people cannot do, but it is about the fighting spirit you show. You know, it's not just about winning, losing. Sometimes those are decisions which can go either way, but they showed really good fighting spirit and talent. You know, not just heart, but they all showed a lot of talent as well.
And another thing I believe is that these guys are amateurs right now. It's their learning time. So, you know, make your mistakes, lose some fights. It's important what they learn from it, rather than, you know, taking that win or loss to heart and saying, oh, you know, I should do this, I should do that. No, you just need to keep improving. You need to keep improving every aspect of the game.
I think for us, Is that your phone?
No.
Somebody will. Okay, anyway, yeah. Even for us Indians, especially fighting abroad, sometimes the first time is a little, you get those butterflies in your stomach. It's not your home crowd. So getting over that also, I think, was important for everybody, which they've done now.
And like Anil and Manthan have fought in Malaysia before. They fought Stan. Rudransh has fought before. It was the first time Akshata fought, and a first time that Rudransh was fighting in a front of a larger crowd. So I think now they know that nobody is special.
Yeah.
The theory of it bleeds, it can be killed. So it's not for them. It's not about intimidation anymore.
Yeah.
So I think I'm
It was a
actually very
good-
excited to see their next fight.
So now what is next for Team Relentless? Where are your fighters going next now?
So for us, we like to take every challenge that comes our way. I'm in talks with a couple of guys to get them to fight abroad again soon. Maybe maybe either in Borneo or some other place. And we have also these guys. So Manthan's the bantamweight champion of YFC. Rudransh is the lightweight champion of YFC, so they've got to defend their titles as well.
But they were saying he's also a champion at Stand.
No, he's the number one contender at Stand, and he
yeah.
would be fighting for the 65 kg
for the
belt.
title now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I think for Manthan, that's the next thing. Anil's got a couple of, I think he's got World Games coming up. Plus, I'm trying to get Anil, some fights in Europe as well, so that he gets more exposure and stuff. So yeah, let's hope it all works out.
Great, awesome. Now coming to some problems, let's say, that have been going on recently, in terms of there was some problems with the BJJ. One of the BJJ associations giving out, people were giving out belts where they should not have been giving out belts, and also there was talk of MMA belts being given out, which has been going on for some time, which doesn't happen, I guess. I'm not sure if it happens anywhere else in the world or not. Except in our country, but we're special. We're special. हम हिंदुस्तान में MMA की बेल्ट लेते हैं, हम बोलते हैं चलो जाओ, ये मजा करो, आप ये भी MMA की बेल्ट लो, आप जाके स्कूल में दिखाओ, कॉलेज में दिखाओ, आप MMA बेल्ट विनर हो. So I think that kind of stuff only happens in our country, and I think you did talk about this there are a lot of people from karate and everything who have, of course, come over to some of them MMA and BJJ now also, who are bringing that mentality of just the business of giving out certificates and belts for a certain fee, and spoiling the culture, the martial arts culture, because these are things which you have to fight for. They can't just be given out at a rate card, with a rate card or something.
So again, I personally believe it's two sides to it. I mean, yes, we have associations doing things like giving out belts and stuff. I mean, the question that arises is who actually gave them the qualification or the standard to give out BJJ belts? Yeah. Like, I am a blue belt now. I've been practicing for 8 years. I'm a blue belt with 4 stripes. I got my blue belt after 4 years of training and competing. And now I've been a blue belt for 4 years and counting. And I'm really proud about what I've achieved in BJJ. And, I think that's something that, I wear that blue belt with a lot of pride.
So who gave you your blue belt?
So I'm a blue belt under blue belt 4 stripes under Shane Suzuki, who's the BJJ black belt at Fight G. I got my blue belt from my coach, Darren De Silva. I've got
so are you authorized to give out belts?
No, I'm not authorized to give out belts.
What if I give you 10,000 rupees?
I'll take the money.
Please, I'll
take the money.
Okay.
No, but so yeah, the thing is, and I also believe that it's the culture of, it's something that we need to change. Like, if I take my son to a martial arts school, my goal should not be that मुझे 2 साल में ये black belt चाहिए, because understand that this is where it all starts. Like, I'm sure when you talk to these association guys, they will say, oh, this is the only way we can promote the sport. If we don't give out belts, if we keep it straight, parents don't want to put their kids in it. Like, how do they know they are growing? So I think it's a twofold approach. Education is important, even from the perspective of people that are practicing the sport, because at the end of the day, you might have a BJJ black belt, who's got a black belt from one of these associations, or an MMA black belt. But when you go fight abroad, when you step on the mat, that doesn't lie, right? So I can have a MMA black belt and get my ass whooped every time I fight.
The whole thing is these people don't go abroad and expose themselves. They stay within the country plying their business.
So I agree, but again, Parveen, what I feel is in today's day and age of internet, where we are talking about digital India, it really doesn't take that much to, come on, if you're going to go and buy a t-shirt, you're going to do a research for 1 hour before you buy it. But when you're putting your kid, or when you're enrolling yourself into a martial arts school, I think it's an equal responsibility. Find out the credentials of the people that you're training with. Find out where you're going.
The credentials they've put up for themselves, or I'm a black belt, I'm a this, and I've got this certificate. Yeah. I'm a ground and pound level 3 fighter. Level 3 certificate. So how do you get beyond that?
So I think again,
because a lot of people, whenever they do say something, these guys try to shout them down, or they try to they clam up. So or they try to put the other person down. A lot of people who are keyboard warriors themselves accuse other people of being keyboard warriors. There's all kinds of stuff which goes out if you try to bring the spotlight, if you try to fix things, because there's a lot broken.
But then isn't that the beauty of internet? Anyone can say anything, right?
And that's what I'm saying. So how can we use that to fix, like somebody who goes on the internet to check, anybody can write anything about themselves.
I completely agree, but when I first find out about the sport, come on, MMA is a global phenomenon now. Anybody who Googles MMA knows UFC.
Yeah.
You can find out whether there's actually a belt system in MMA. It's like me saying I'm a brown belt in wrestling. You're not going to believe that because there is no belt system in wrestling.
Yeah.
If I say I'm a black belt in Muay Thai, black belt Muay Thai has a different grading system, and people know all these things because
the problem is people come up with explanations, to say why not. If BJJ and karate can have, then why can't MMA have? And it should have. And we will start, and everybody else will follow us. So there's always a way people use to explain, the shit they're doing, to cover it up.
So then I think the responsibility lies with people like you.
I'm trying.
Again, like I said, it's. I believe it's a twofold thing. Parveen, I believe it's a twofold thing. This will only sell as long as I buy it. Okay. So, that's what I said when these guys in the Fight Garage asked me, and I said I'm being very honest. I don't know the answer to the politics. I'm not a guy who works with associations. I really don't know what mindset they have. I believe in training. I believe in competing, and I really don't, to be honest, as a coach.
Because this, I think, is a problem not just for martial arts, but Indian sports in general, where the people running the association are trying to make all the money off the back of the hard work of the coaches and the players and the fighters.
So I think somewhere, Parveen, the question that also comes down is, today you have associations, you might have an MMA association or a Jiu-Jitsu association or some other association. I'm sure it happens in other sports. I'm not that well versed, where the guys running the association are themselves with no background in that particular sport.
Yeah.
So the question arises that when they are given recognitions, is their credentials checked? Because we do have all these associations which are registered. Do we have a system?
But that's what I'm saying. Isn't that a problem in Indian sports in general? Where if you tell a martial arts guy, "Oh, tere paas experience nahi," he'll turn around and say, "Sala, X, Y, and Z. I don't want to name any sport. Ko head kar raha hai wo politician. वो कभी खेला थोड़ी है."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
वो कर सकते हैं, हम क्यों नहीं कर सकते?
But it has to start somewhere, right?
I agree.
Somewhere those credentials need to be questioned.
I agree, which is why I'm saying, isn't it a problem in Indian sports in general?
100%, it is, and we've known this.
Yeah.
We've known this to exist. I'm sure there are movies made about athletes that have been put down because of associations and stuff. So I don't think it's new. I think, it all, for me personally, I think we need to question these associations.
But I think the problem is we all know that this happens. I mean, it's a problem we all know. I don't think there's anybody out there who thinks, "Oh, association wale bahut achhe hain." They all know the association guys are leeching off of the fighters and coaches. But it's like, what do you do? Nobody knows the solution, I think.
I think as long as you're giving out recognitions, this will happen.
Yeah.
So I think the question that goes back
I think the problem also that the the people giving out the recognition a lot of times are the ones also involved in the associations.
So credentials need to be checked at that level. You know, I might understand. I might be I don't know if this happens, but I might be a 7-degree karate black belt, but that does not give me the authority to take decisions or head say a BJJ or an MMA organization.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like I said, what is my experience in BJJ? How much have I competed? You know, am I a practitioner?
Yeah.
Have I even bothered, stepping on the mat once? I mean, I've seen BJJ seminars, pictures of BJJ seminars put up where there are guys walking around with BJJ gis and black belts, and when you ask them, "Oh, are you a BJJ black belt?" No, I'm a karate black belt. Come on, you are on a BJJ mat.
Yeah.
You're teaching BJJ. You're sending out the wrong message. You're a BJJ white belt. Wear a white belt. You know, I mean, but I guess
I must be thinking, ये मैंने black belt बहुत मुश्किल से मैं BJJ में भी ये कर लिया हूँ.
With due respect to them,
Which
what
is
they've
ridiculous,
achieved in
though.
their sport,
Yeah,
they
but that's
have
a different
achieved.
sport.
Agreed. And I think going back to Hickson said it or somebody said it where they said, belt only covers 2 inches of your ass.
Yeah.
Other you have to take care of.
Yeah.
So I guess
there was another problem recently. Well, I let me take my words back. I wouldn't call it problem, but the Grappling Federation had their nationals in the basement of a stadium, and we're going to show you that footage right now. Somebody just sent us that footage. The person must have been there, so they sent us the footage, and there's some pictures as well. You're going to see that right now, and we'll come back. So you people just saw the footage. Like you were saying, I think a lot of it is कि nationals करने हैं मतलब कि कहीं भी कर लो, फ्री में ये जगह मिली है स्टेडियम के बेसमेंट में, पानी लीकेज हो रही है, साला इधर उधर है, मैट लगा लो, क्या हो गया जी, मैट है ना, आप क्यों कंप्लेन कर रहे हो? आप तो आप फाइटर हो, आप कहीं भी आके लड़ सकते हो. That mentality is there where people wanna put the onus on you.
Again, Parveen, is at the end of the day, when you say these are the nationals, were the states conducted? Who were invited for these states? Is this like an open tournament where you've let everybody come in and compete, or is it, oh, you're affiliated with me, so you can send a team? I mean, again, I know that there are certain affiliation fees and stuff like that, and only if you pay that will your athletes be able to compete. And I really don't know. To be honest, I'm not sure if just doing a nationals should validate for an association's credibility. I mean, yeah, I can just put Max on the road and say nationals.
Exactly. It also depends on, you know, the level of who the hell is looking at who's, you know, that at what standard did these take place, you know? So there needs to be, you know, there's obviously no oversight.
I agree. I mean, yeah, it's just a very sad state, but, you know, like I said in my interview as well, I mean, I'm sure that there'll be a lot of people out there questioning my authority to say that. And I'm not any authority to speak. It's my opinion. I'm a practitioner.
Exactly.
I'm passionate about the sport.
Talking about us being an authority. We're presenting facts as they are.
Yeah.
You know,
And
it happened in a basement. We're not lying about that. We've been sent the footage. The pictures are there. You know, why? We did try to reach out to the person who was in charge. Initially, they did show an interest in being interviewed, but the minute the person who called them from our side spoke about nationals, they put the phone down and they never answered it again.
So I think the problem also is it's all good till you're giving me the importance and you're giving me the media attention, but the moment you get critical of me, I'm not interested, because you know, in my head or in my circle, I've already sacrificed so much to do this, you know. Oh, I finally did a nationals, what have you done? You're just doing an interview. But come on, you know, as long as somebody doesn't question us, how do we know we are doing the right thing? I mean, for me, the way my fighters perform is a gauge of whether I'm doing the right thing, or, you know, whether I'm working with them in the right manner. You know, but I guess, you know, being critical is not what something people like to be, or being criticized is not what something people like to.
Well, let's forget criticism, and we'd like to congratulate you again, you know, on a great performance at Ultimate Beatdown, and a lot of great performances in the past also, you know, which we've not always spoken about. But Team Relentless and you guys are doing a great job, and training people and bringing it up the right way, the hard way. And we wish you all the very best in the next, you know, fights and everything. And the great thing is, you guys are so near, you know, that there's no problem speaking and getting in touch with you guys.
You know, it's been great of, you know, guys like you, guys like the Fan Garage, and, you know, at least you've got some amount of recognition to these guys that are putting in these work. And, you know, I guess it, you know, boosts everyone's morale that at least finally there's somebody who's actually looking at our wins. Well, and I would like to thank you for that.
I've always said these platforms and the promotions, everything is for the fighters. You know, it's not, ours is just, you know, ours is a platform, and it needs to give the fighters the spotlight and the recognition that they train and work hard for. They're the ones, you know, working hard. It's much easier for us, of course, to put a show, but they're the ones putting in the sweat and blood and, you know, tears, everything, literally. So I think they deserve as big a platform as possible, and all the recognition and all the spotlight. And we at the MMA India show will constantly endeavor to keep the spotlight on the fighters and try to improve, of course, the standards of MMA, combat sports, and keep all the associations and federations on their toes all the time. We're always watching, we're always there to help, we're always there to provide a platform. Thank you guys so much for tuning in again. Thanks, Jitendra.
Thank you.